Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and welcome back to our monthly updates of the presidential election forecast model and my own personal thoughts and feelings about the presidential election. I'm not going to touch the Senate election simply because I actually covered that this weekend, I think maybe even Saturday, so it's recent enough that I don't really have to touch it. But I will include links to both models in the description. And as always, likes, comments, subscriptions really do help. I sincerely appreciate it, of course, and I thank everyone for helping me out and helping this channel out. So this is what the model has said, and by the way, I have collapsed everything down for March, and we're actually starting the April period. I thought about it. I said, these are the way I have it right now, as you can notice, as you can probably tell. I've just left the data situation the same. I haven't increased the amount for polling because my model is currently producing numbers that make sense as it sits. So I think I've balanced all the factors together accurately. So I'm not going to touch it unless my model starts producing numbers that are really, really weird. New Jersey is about the only state that I'm a little dubious about, but I think part of it is where we are in terms of the election. And remember, my model, this is anything that's likely is between 10 and 15%. So it's not exactly competitive. Remember, the tilting is based off of 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 and above for both sides. So that's kind of where that sits. So that's why it may say, oh, no, this race is extremely competitive in some areas. Well, nah, not really. Not really. And, of course, as we know, Biden became the nominee, and I've explained my decision to add a home state advantage in Delaware. I haven't added one in Pennsylvania, as I really don't think he's going to get that much of a boost in Pennsylvania. And, of course, polls are showing about where they were during the Trump-Clinton election in 2016. And he's not doing so hot in Wisconsin. Of course, Trump has been doing really well in Wisconsin for various reasons. But this is kind of where I would expect the map to actually be, somewhere in this range, with any state in the tilt category to be vaguely competitive, except for maybe Georgia. Because I just don't see Georgia being a competitive state. We're going to go ahead and actually clear and keep all that. And I'll go ahead and put down my own little thing where I have these races. And this is a confidence margin rather than where I expect the votes to be. And I did notice a comment on my Senate discussion video where I put Montana as safe, and maybe that was a bit jumping the gun. Yes, it is Bullock running. Yeah, it's Bullock running for Senate up there as a Democrat. He's probably going to get the nomination. I just don't see Montana producing a split result in a presidential election year with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket. And Daines isn't exactly unpopular. I'm not saying he's popular, but he's not unpopular. And we have to remember that Tester only just barely won his seat in 2018, which was a Democratic wave year, and he was the incumbent, so he had two factors working in his favor, and he still only just held his seat. So, I'm a little dubious of claims that Tester is all of a sudden going to win the presidency. By the way, with win the Senate seat up there. New Mexico, by the way, I really don't see that being extremely competitive. And let's not forget Illinois. Right. I'm pretty confident about Iowa and Ohio. I'm fairly confident about Colorado. I'm confident, but not super in Nevada. Virginia, I'm only leaning it. A lot of people are probably putting in the likely category, but that's because I'm expecting a little bit higher turnout in rural areas because of the whole guns issue. I'm leaning North Carolina to Trump, and by extension, I'm expecting similar things from Tillis, but I put it in the tilt category for him because he's not as popular as Trump is in North Carolina, and he's being kind of sunk down by his record. I think Biden's probably going to carry Minnesota, but I'm not dead certain on that. I'm tilting Pennsylvania for him as well as Michigan. I'm only going to put that in the lean category, but, you know. And I'm actually leaning Wisconsin to President Trump because all the data I've seen indicates that Wisconsin is becoming a red state, and it's 2016 was probably the year for it to flip to the Republicans for the first time. And sure, the losses in the Senate and the governor's house, the governor's mansion in Wisconsin, that is to be expected in a state that is still competitive, still has incumbent Democrats in the Senate, or at least one incumbent Democrat in the Senate, as well as in a Democratic wave year in a state that only just became a red state. So I don't think it's really that shocking to me that a red state could elect a Democratic governor. Let me look at North Carolina. Or a Democratic senator. Look at Arizona, for example. And yes, those are becoming competitive states for sure. And I'd actually say they have a similar partisan lean to Wisconsin. So to me, it doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't do that in a competitive year. But that, of course, I can't forget Maine. I'm putting these like that, and I am leaning Maine's at large. Now, of course, this gives Trump a 270 to 268 victory, which is extremely narrow, and a few faithless electors could swing things and make the House vote. Of course, this is taking away Pennsylvania from the Trump category. Otherwise, it's 290, and it's not really viewed as all that competitive. I do think there is some degree of uncertainty in this election. My model doesn't quite model it, but looking at the rather high amount of undecideds in some areas, I think it's reasonable to say there is going to be some degree of uncertainty in this election. Now, the reason why I've taken Pennsylvania and given it to Biden is because Biden may see an actual boost there. I just don't know how to quantify it for the purposes of my model. I think Pennsylvania is just going to. I think right now it's fair to put it in the Biden category until I see data showing a different picture. Guess I need some coffee. Anyway, I want to thank all y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.